Hey guys, this is Formula Chris, and welcome to a new series, my first series, where we will be running the IndyCar Oval Fixed series on iRacing. I'm basically brand new to ovals as well as the IndyCar. I ran the Indy 500 special event this year, fell in love with it, and now I want to try to run the entirety of the 2026 Season 3 IndyCar Oval Fixed series, and I'm going to bring you guys along with me. I want to make these videos short, highlight based, so they're not too long for you. You don't have to watch the entire race. With this series, we're going to have 4 goals. Firstly, we want to run all 12 weeks of the series. Second, we want to finish in the top 10 of my division, which is Division 8. We want to win 5 races and reach A-class license. I'm currently at B. With that said, let's go ahead and get into the first race. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So for the first race of the year, we're going to be starting in P9. Actually get a really good run off of the green, but the 2 cars ahead do not, so we kind of get checked up and have to tuck in behind, which is totally okay. Nothing gained, nothing lost. It's a long race. Gonna jump ahead to lap 4 here, and you noticed a little bit of debris coming off of the car that just runs up to the top there. We're actually about to get a pretty big incident here, as this yellow car does not notice. Don't know what they're doing there. Lucky to avoid it, that neither of them came down. We're going to get our first caution there. Skipping ahead a bit to lap 12, we actually picked up a couple positions from some cars just running wide and up into the wall. Nothing we did. We're going to get a really good run off of the corner here and go up the inside into P4, which was a nice move. You can see there on my steering wheel in the bottom right, I'm starting to abuse the tires. That's something I'm not used to at all, as another caution comes out, and I actually nearly plow into the back of that car. Not quite sure what was going on there, but yeah, lap 13 caution, and we're actually gonna get another caution here on lap 33. Not a lot happening at the beginning of this race. I am gonna take the opportunity to pit here though, and try to make it to the end on fuel. And as we're coming in here, I'm gonna make a mistake. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it's that little bit of speeding right there or not, but you can see up in the top left, unsafe pit entrance, and I'm gonna get dropped to the back, and here's my reaction to that.
These guys in your pits. I don't understand. Drop to end, speeding in pits. No way. I was not speeding. I put my pit limiter on.
So yeah, not quite sure what I did there, if it was the speeding in the pits, if I maybe crossed a white line, but anyway, it's not really gonna matter because we're gonna get a really good restart here. Pass 2 cars off the jump to the outside, and then we're gonna get right up behind this car here, looking at P7. Good run off of the line. Gonna try to go up the inside, and actually a really nice move there to keep it pinned, keep it tight, and take that position there. So moving forward here, lap 50, I kind of just, you can see on the mini map there, we're kind of tucked in. 7th is basically as far as we could go, and I'm gonna hit the wall pretty hard there, take on a little bit of wheel damage. I don't really feel like it affected me much during the race at all, but it was there. And you can definitely see on my steering wheel there, the temperature's getting hot. That's something I'm not super comfortable with in these Indy cars yet, is controlling the tire temperature, but we're going to get really lucky here with a caution, because we had no chance at anything better than 7th place. And like a professional here, I come up to the back of these guys, and I'm going to hit the brakes a little bit too hard and spin sort of embarrassingly. Nothing really negative, because we're going to pit anyway. So there's nothing lost there, just kind of embarrassing. And as we come in again, I make sure that I'm going to be under the speed limit this time. And I still get an unsafe pit entrance. You guys are going to have to tell me what it is that I'm doing wrong. I'm not sure. But anyway, here we are. This is the restart. There's 1 lap left, basically, in this race. Got fresh tires. I feel really good. I get a really good start. So that's how the first race there's going to end for us, unfortunately. I, of course, couldn't pass on the inside and tried to go outside, just lost control. Unfortunate, but it is what it is. We actually still ended up finishing in 6th place. I was able to bring the car home. There were a few crashes ahead of us. So honestly, we could have been looking at like a P3 or P4, but it is what it is. After the first race, we're looking at 11th place in the Division 8 Championship, so not too bad. Let's go ahead and get started with the second race here. We're going to start the second race in P8. Not a bad place to start, that's for sure. Somewhere in the mid-pack at least gives us a shot at making our way to the front and avoiding the chaos. Not a bad start here. Bit of a moment, which is a little bit scary, but we're able to control the car and retain our P8 as we're going to get our first caution of the race. Bit of contact with the wall there, but nothing damaged, so we're safe. And we're going to see a pretty big crash up in the top there, which is going to bring out the second caution of the day. And on lap 23 here, I'm actually going to take the opportunity to pit, fresh tires, and full fuel. And believe it or not, I'm able to make it through the pits this time without picking up a penalty, which keeps us in P4 for the restart. Good place to be. And it's actually going to get a little bit better as P2 decides to just pull off to the side and give us a free position. And this car that's coming up to the side of me here for P3 is going to make up basically the top 4 train for a majority of this race here. As I get a little bit too greedy on the apron and nearly wipe out. And you can see I learn well from my mistakes and nearly do it again. At this point, the top 2 are close to checking out, and I want to get past this car here, move up into P3, and then catch the 2 cars in P1 and 2, and I thought I made a pretty nice move there. You'll see here a few laps later, pushing hard. I'm just going to brush the wall again. That one was a much harder hit than the one in our previous race. I took damage, but like I said in the other race, I don't feel like it affected me much. You can see we did finally catch up to those cars. And then a couple laps later, I'm actually going to make a pretty nice move here for P2 using the traffic as a bit of a buffer. And we're basically going to drive around in a circle for 15 laps now. And at this point, it's basically all a fuel-saving race as we're the top 3. And on lap 69, the leader's actually going to pull into the pits, which is the first time all race that I started to believe that I might have a chance, as the P1 car is actually just going to pull over to the side and let me through. I can only imagine that's what he was doing, potentially to try to save fuel. But I mean, at this point, I'm map mode 5. I'm lifting in the corners. I've been paying attention to the fuel calculator the entire time. However, what I was looking at was the pits to end section, when if you really look at the laps to empty section, and you do the math in your head, we are about a half a lap short on fuel right now. And I didn't really realize that until the next lap, when my spotter tells me that we have 2 laps of fuel left with 2.5 laps to go around the track. So at this point, I'm kind of freaking out, and I don't think that I'm going to make it to the end. And this is when it really sinks in. 1 lap of fuel left, about a half a lap, and another to go, and we're going to get the fuel low monitor on our steering wheel, and the laps to empty now says 0.35, and from this point I'm just going to go silent and let you experience what I experienced to finish this race. What a way to put an exclamation point on week 1, getting our first win in week 1 of the season. I mean, I was watching him the entire time in my rearview mirror catch up. I cannot believe that I was able to stay ahead. But I am super happy to pick up that win. It wasn't top split, so we didn't pick up as many championship points as we could have, but still puts us in a pretty comfortable P3 there for the Division 8 season. So if you made it to the end, thanks for sticking around with me. This is the first time I've done anything like this, so let me know what you liked, what you didn't like, what you'd rather see next time, and thanks for watching.